So if you strip me from everything that I currently have and I had to literally start from zero, I'd probably be able to make $3,000 online in my first 2 months. And the reason for that is because I'll still basically have all the knowledge I gained from the experience of running my social media marketing agency for 2.5 years now. So in today's video, my goal is to basically go into this unplanned. I literally did not plan anything and kind of show you my entire brainstorming process of how I'd go about making my first $3,000. So this will be super useful to you if you are just starting out, if you're thinking of providing an online service, and if you want to make money online. So make sure to watch all the way till the end, because I'm literally going to sit down with you, start off with a blank board, and kind of run you step by step of how I'd go about making that first $3,000 a month, right? So I really, really want you to follow through all the way till the end and then actually take the action necessary to make that happen in the next 2 months, right? So without further ado, let's get right into it. So you know the drill by now, nothing planned on the whiteboard. The reason for this is because I want to take you with me through the journey of kind of brainstorming different ways in how we can go about from making $0 to making $3,000 online. So as you can see, I've literally have nothing else planned. You're going to be sitting, hopefully watching this video all the way till the end and kind of understanding my thought process of if like you were to basically close down all my accounts, literally reset me from zero, how I would go about making that first $3,000, obviously online. So here I made some cool illustrations. Well, cool. I thought they were funny. Here's you, $3,000 a month. Here's your literal cluelessness, if that's a word, on how to make that $3,000 a month. And hopefully I can remove that dude here so you can go from this to this, right? So yeah, it's going to be a step-by-step process. Literally what I would do right now if I had $0 and I had to make that money ASAP. So yeah, let's get right into it. So the first thing I would do is I would accept the fact that I am making $0 a month, right? And I'll accept that this is mostly due to me and no external factors, right? So the first step to making $3,000 a month is basically accepting that you are responsible for how much you're making. Because online world, the digital world is basically almost an open source for people to come into, generate different ideas and then make money through these ideas, right? Makes it super, super easy for anyone to come here and make their first couple $1,000s, right? So the first thing, accept the fact that you making $0 a month is mostly due to you and not external factors, right? If anything, external factors these days allow you to make that $3,000 a month. That's kind of a mindset shift. Now, stage one of what I would do is I would try find a problem that I can solve for a specific type of audience, right? Because in order to make money, you got to be able to transfer value. The way you can transfer value most of the times is by solving someone's problem or making someone's life easier or saving them time or saving them money, right? So if you know how to do that, then you'll be able to come up with an offer and then be able to present that offer to an audience with that problem, and they'll find your service or whatever it is you decide to do super valuable. But yeah, that's stage one. How would I go about finding that problem? Well, problems come, as I said, in three different ways. Whether it's a time problem, right? Whether it's an inefficiency problem. Let's see if I can spell that. Nope. Whether it's a money problem, right? Wasting money on or not getting an ROI. Right, there's three problems. Actually, fourth problem, the effort problem. All right, there's four problems that you can solve for a person. Whether it's a time problem, right? They don't have enough time to do something, whether it's an inefficiency problem, they just, doing it themselves is just super inefficient, or the way they're currently doing is super inefficient and wastes a lot of resources. It's a money problem, right? They're wasting money on something that's not giving them a good return on their investment. And also it's an effort problem. They're literally not bothered to do it themselves, right? So there's four problems that you can pick in order to basically solve it. You might be able to solve one, two, three problems at a time, but I'll start off with one or two first and then kind of add everything else later on. Now, when it comes to a specific type of audience, how do we actually go about finding an audience? So, when thinking of an audience, it is basically your niche, right? How do you go about picking the right niche? Well, they have to be able to pay high ticket prices, right? That's the first qualification of a good niche, that they're able to pay high ticket prices. The second qualification that you should follow is whether their clients want what they are offering, right? If their clients don't want what they're offering, then it's a pretty bad niche to go for, right? Because you're just not going to make any sales for them or bring any ROI to them if their clients literally do not want to work with them. Next, the niche should have the problems we have identified, right? If they don't have a problem to solve, then you're not going to be able to sell them anything, right? So how would I go about then to basically deciding what niche I can go for, right? I would pick top five industries, right? Whether it's home improvement, whether it's dentists, whether it's lawyers, whether it's accountants, right? Pick five. Well, that's four. Say whether it's interior designers, right? You pick five. And then now you basically want to go and do some primary and secondary research in order to find out what problems or what type of problems they're experiencing, right? I can tell you with home improvement, it's mostly leads or inefficient way of getting leads through like Home Advisor or Angie's Leads. So that's an inefficiency problem, right? That could also be a bunny problem because they don't really get an ROI or too much of an ROI by paying Angie's Leads for their leads, right? What about accountants, right? Go and find out what problems accountants face. So maybe, I don't know, accountants are lazy, right? They're just lazy to go ahead and try to basically find ways to get more clients. What about lawyers? Lawyers don't have the time, right? They're probably busy with like studying, with like cases. They're probably busy with time, and it's also an effort problem. Like they're just not bothered to do it themselves. Home improvement guys and interior designers, again, we discussed this, wasting their money on Angie's Leads, Home Advisor, on leads that are just simply window shoppers or never will go work with them, right? So you want to find what specific problems each niche struggles with. But once you find the problem, like let's say you found a problem that, let's say you pick a niche, like let's say you want to go for home improvement, and you find that they have a inefficiency problem and an ROI problem, right? So they have two problems, right? And the way we'd be able to provide value to this niche is by being able to solve these two problems, right? One or two of these problems. So now what I would do is I'll think about it like, what can I offer in order to solve these problems, right? What can I offer to solve these problems, right? What are the things, like let's say from my market research, I found out that they're using Home Advisor or Angie's Leads. I could say, what are the things that are better than what they are doing to generate leads? What they, what are the things that are more efficient and can provide a better ROI. I'm going to ask myself these two questions, right? And then I'm going to brainstorm. So if I'm offering Facebook ads, how can I go about making Facebook ads this efficient system that, if implemented into a home improvement business, will basically solve their inefficiency problems and their ROI problems, right? So with Facebook ads, we know we get leads, right? Leads, most of the times, that's another problem, by the way, with Facebook leads, is that they're unquality, right? There's a lot of complaints in the home improvement industry that Facebook leads are unqualified, right? Why is that? Why are they unqualified? No. Appointment setting, generic, creative, and copy, generic, generic offer, right? Generic lead form, no landing page or booking page, right? So what I'm doing here is basically for these problems with what they're currently doing, I'm trying to find a solution. Let's say my solution is Facebook ads. What I then want to do is find the problems within Facebook ads itself. Because most of the times, people probably have tried Facebook ads for their business before and it never worked out. What's the problem with that is because the leads are super, super bad quality. Now I want to understand why the leads are super bad quality, right? And some of the reasons why is because there's no landing page or booking page. They might have used the generic lead form. It's a generic offer. It's a generic creative and copy that literally does not spark anyone's attention. There's no appointment setting workflows. There's no appointment setters placed in the team to call the leads within the first 5-10 minutes, right? So now I'm finding more problems. Once I've done that, what I want to do is what can I offer to solve these problems now, right? So I'm literally creating like an iceberg of problems, 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 and trying to solve the problems of a problem of a problem, right? And this is how you are able to basically craft value through thin air, right? So no appointment setting. What can I do? I can offer setters and uh, pre-built tailored automations. Now, what can I do with the generic, creative, and copy? Well, maybe I can offer influencers or UGC creators or AI videos, right? Okay, so what about generic offer, right? Well, what I can do is simply come up with a better offer rather than a free quote. What about lead form, right? Lead form, I could test lead forms in order to see which one is the best in collecting my. What about no landing pages or booking pages? Right. Well, I can pre-build a tailored booking page. Thank you. Page and all of the forms within that, as well as cool. So what we did here, just to run you back, is we found 4 common problems within business. Then we go to the audience and we have these sort of qualifications for an audience. We then pick the top 5 industries and we go ahead and do some research on them. We then pick a niche that we want to go for and we figure out what problems they are currently experiencing. Most of the time, it's the inefficiency of using lead softwares and the ROI problem that comes with that. So now we ask ourselves, what can I offer in order to solve these problems? What are the things that are better than what they're currently doing to generate leads? And what are the things that are more efficient and provide a better ROI? So, Facebook ads, probably better if done right. But what's the problem with Facebook ads is that you deal with unquality leads. Why is that? No appointment setting, generic creative and copy, generic offer, generic lead form, no landing pages or booking pages. Now, what can I offer to solve these problems? Well, I can offer setters and pre-built tailored automations. I can offer influencer UGC creators or AI videos. I can come up and test better offers than a free quote. I will test different lead forms in order to see which one is the best in collecting high quality information. And I'll provide the pre-built tailored booking page, thank you page, and all the forms within that, as well as provide a CRM and a calendar for my client, right? So now you basically solved the problems with Facebook ads, right? And now what I want to do is basically figure out a way in how I can go about packaging it, right? How can I go take all this information and package it into one simple message, right? So first things first, when it comes to packaging, is we got to give our system a name, right? So we're not providing Facebook ads. What we're providing instead is a, I don't know, what am I drinking here? Kombucha appointment system, right? Kombucha appointment system. What is a kombucha appointment system? We will send you 10 highly qualified quotes. Right. So, how do we package it? Well, we said this is a kombucha appointment system, right? It's not Facebook ads that we're offering. We're offering solutions to all these problems with Facebook ads with our kombucha appointment system. So now, how do we package it? Well, what's their dream outcome? They want quotes, right? People don't care about leads appointment. They just want quotes. Like they just want to go out and do those quotes, right? So we can offer quotes. And this basically, the dream outcome will come from the market research that you've done. Because with the problems, you also have the things that people want. And what do these home improvement business owners want is they simply just want good quotes and work with good projects, right? So we will send you 10 high qualified quotes in the next 30 days without you running inefficient Facebook ads, cold calling, cold emailing, using Angie's Leads or Home Advisor. And all of this is possible with our kombucha appointment system. If you don't see 10 quotes in your calendar pop up without you lifting a single finger, then we do not get paid as we work on a pay and results basis, right? Obviously, I just wrote it like just now. I'll probably do more work on it, kind of refine it in order to make it sound more, I guess, streamlined, have a nicer flow to it and stuff like that. But this is just a raw version of how we'd go about packaging it, right? So that's our package. Now, what we need to do is to come up with a mid-form message. And this mid-form message is what you're going to basically send out to your leads as the first way that you get in touch with them. So let's say you're using cold emails to get in touch with leads. The mid-form message is what you're going to use. And then if they're going to ask more questions, then you can basically talk about the packaging, right? So mid-form message, right? We will send you 10 highly. Right, so this is the offer that we're going to use in order to reach out to leads, right? And then if they check us out or they ask more questions, then we tell them, listen, our kombucha appointment system, uh, basically prevents you from running inefficient Facebook ads, cold calling, cold email, using Angie Leads and other lead softwares. And plus, we work on a paying results basis. I mean, the mid-form message is basically your packaging, but it's kind of like simplified, faster to read, right? Because we don't want to send them a whole paragraph about our packaging, but we want to send them kind of the most important details within our packaging, right? So this is my offer, right? So what am I going to do now, right? What am I going to do with this offer? Well, I need to figure out a deployment system. And what's a deployment system is basically how you go about positioning your um, message to your target audience, right? So that's a deployment system. We have different deployment systems available to us online. And this is kind of goes back to my first point about the online world literally giving you all the resources you need in order to make your first $3,000 online. So deployment, cold emails, cold GMs, cold calling, right? Three main deployment methods that we can use, right? So what I would ask myself at this point is, okay, does my audience hang out more on DMs? Is it better to cold call them? Is it better to cold email them? Right. I'll then go back and research it. Right. Maybe I would also position myself in the head of my target audience. Right. Like think about it. If these guys are on the field most of the day, would they check their emails? Would they check their DMs more, or would they pick up the phone? Right. They probably wouldn't pick up the phone. The reason why is because they're probably busy, right? If you call them out of the blue, they will never have the time to talk to you. Okay, cool. Cold DMs. Now you got to think about the age, right? The age of your target audience. Are they mostly younger people, or are they mostly older people, right? If they're older people, maybe LinkedIn would be the best way to go. But again, maybe they don't check LinkedIn, right? Maybe Instagram is better, or actually maybe Facebook Messenger is going to be the one, right? So that's an idea. Or cold emails, right? You can never go wrong with cold emails. I mean, everyone has an email, everyone checks their emails, right? Might be a lot more competition on emails in terms of how many people reach out to that person. But if you're creative enough, emails could work out well for you. So let's say I do go about with cold emails, or like I go ahead with sending out cold emails. Now, what constitutes a good cold email system, right? What constitutes a good email system? So a system is basically, how do I make it? Yeah. So a system, right, is basically your inputs going into your processes and giving you outputs, right? This is a system, right? Inputs, processes, outputs. In this case scenario, cold emails is the processes, right? You use instantly, you use Lemlist if you still use that software, or any other software that you use in order to send out your cold emails. So now you got to work on the inputs, right? Well, first let's identify what we need, right? We need 30 to 40 appointments per month. Let's say that's our goal, right? So out of 1,000 emails sent, if we get a 1% appointment booking rate, that's around 10 appointments booked, right? 1% ABR. So now if I need 30 to 40 appointments, right, I need to send out 3,000 to 4,000, maybe actually 4,000 to 5,000 emails just to be safe, right? That should give us anywhere from 30 to 40 appointments with a 1% ABR, right? So now you've defined the outcome. Well, you've set your APIs. So what you need to do now is kind of reverse engineer these into your inputs. So what can I do to get that 1% appointment booking rate? Well, I could have a creative opening line to ensure I get at least a 4 to 5% positive response rate, right? My offer resonates with the audience. A clean lead, clean and verified lead list. Right, what else do I need for a 1% appointment booking rate? I need good response templates, right, to book responses in. I need software and VAs, or actually at the start, softwares to handle the volume, right? So now we have our outputs and we have our inputs, right? Now I want you to go through each single one of these and basically start setting it up, right? Come up with different opening lines and be creative about it. Don't just say, I love your website, right? No one's going to read that. Be creative about it. The offer, what we did here, you got to be able to test it and see whether it's going to resonate with your target audience. You got to have a clean and verified lead list. If your lead list is really, really bad, then obviously you're not going to get appointments, right? Because if the people within your lead list are not your target audience, or they're old emails, or they're bad emails, you'll probably end up in spam, or no one's going to reply to you. So you need to make sure you know how to get a good lead list. Good response templates. So you have to basically respond back to people that respond to your initial email in a way that gets them to a book call. And then software to handle the volume. So you probably won't be able to send out 4,000 to 5,000 emails manually. I think that's really, really hard to do by yourself. So you need to find a software that can do it for you, right? So now what I would do is kind of work on these things, right? And then once I have set these up, I then start testing the system, essentially putting these inputs into that process, right? Starting up my cold email campaigns. I would then want to create a feedback loop, right? A feedback loop is basically data and metrics, right? A primary metric is our appointment booking rate. Secondary could be our positive response rate, right? If we don't have a lot of positive responses, we're probably not going to get a lot of bookings, right? So now you let your campaign run and you come back with data, right? Let's say your appointment booking rate was like 0.2%, right? Let's say your positive response rate was around 1%, right? Or like, let's say 2%. Now, with that data in mind, you got to go back to your inputs and understand what can you change in order for you to improve one of these metrics, right? What I would do is probably try and improve my positive response rate, because the more positive responses I get, the more chances I have to booking people in. So what can I do to better my positive responses, right? What can I do? Change up my offer, the way or the tone I use, right? Humorous, serious, right? Different tones that you can use. Maybe it's your opening line, probably your opening line, right? And then I would pick one and I would change that variable. And then once I change that variable, I would then go back, run my system again, and get data, right? And let's say this time my appointment booking rate increased and my positive response rate increased. That tells me I'm moving in the right direction here. So next, what can I do further? Well, I can still test out more opening lines and more better opening lines to get a higher positive response rate, right? So I go do that, test it again, come back, right? Let's say in this case it worsens. Okay, so maybe the opening line previously was good enough. So I'll go back to that previous opening line and I'll change something else. Maybe I want to be able to change the offer. Maybe the offer is just not resonating enough or not sparking as much interest for them to go ahead and book that call in. So I would essentially change up the offer and then come back and run it through my system and see what my outputs are. And maybe I improved my appointment booking rate to 0.6% this time, right? So I can tell that just by changing the offer and keeping the same personal, not personal line, my first line, the same as previously, um, I'm essentially improving my appointment booking rate, right? And then I'll basically keep testing, keep testing, keep testing until I'm able to get to that 1% appointment booking rate, right? So now you have your offer, you have your system that gets you the appointments. And now, in order to make your $3,000 a month or your first $3,000, you need to get better at sales. So your close rate should be 20%, right? Your close rate should be 20%. Out of 30 appointments, at a 20% close rate, ideally you'd close six. I mean, let's say there's a 50% show up rate just to be conservative. So you've taken 15 appointments, and let's say 20%, you should close three clients, right? Should. Probably won't the first time around. You probably close one client or maybe zero, right? So now you got to figure out how can I improve my sales rate, right? And the way you can improve your sales rate is not by watching videos, but I'd say reading books more than watching YouTube videos on how to sell, right? I have a cupboard full of books. Most of them are on sales, something that I started reading when I first started my agency because I wanted to get better at sales, right? Because anything out there that's online about sales is probably in the books, right? So I'd go pick up a few books and then I would also record all of my calls in order to create that feedback loop as we are doing here. And I'll basically do repetition, right? You get better with more reps. So I would do these three things until I can build up to that 20% close rate. And once I'm able to build up to that 20% close rate, now I can start signing one client, then two clients, then three clients, right? Then four clients, then five clients. Depending on what you charge, if let's say you charge $1,000 for your kombucha system, right? One client, closed in your second month or even first month, that's $1,000. Month two, you probably improved your sales by now. You've closed two more clients, right? That's 2,000 more dollars in your bank, right? So within, I'll say 2 months or 3 months, depends how long it takes you to set everything up here. In 2, 3, 4 months, you'd probably be able to start making your first $3,000 a month, right? Simply just by following what I've kind of went through. I know this video might not have been as structured as I would have wanted to in terms of like how I am portraying this information, but this is literally me doing this unplanned. Like I didn't plan this. I'm literally just brainstorming here with you in terms of how I would go about hitting that $3,000 per month mark, right? Online, right? So hopefully you can take all this information I shared with you today, kind of go back, reorganize it a bit, more of a neater structure. I know this does not look neat right now. Um, and yeah, follow the plan step by step. And then, yeah, if you have any questions, if you still haven't joined my free community, go ahead and do that. I'll leave the link in the comment section down below. Join that and ask me questions on there as I get back to all of the members personally within the Amplify community. So make sure to join that. But if you found this video valuable, then make sure to like. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe. And if you have any questions, make sure to comment down below. And I'll see you guys on the next one.